Well, it's no wonder, guys, the BBC are the bottom of the ratings chart, and they keep giving people more reasons to switch off daily. We all know about their failure to hold an audience, as the lowlives at Ofcom told us the other day. But the BBC are moving away from their core audience, thinking the younger generation are going to watch their mind-melting garbage on a regular basis and save them from being defunded, despite the obvious fact that other options are available to people, making that a near impossible task. Throw in their woke lunacy and you have a perfect storm against the BBC. The young have better options out there, including free here on YouTube. The older generation are sick to the back teeth of the BBC's woke, anti-British agenda that less than 1% of the population relates to. And the sort of lunacy we have here that sacks a man for saying two players having a scrap was just handbags is going to make it even worse. If watching football on the BBC was not painful enough, having to listen to Gary Lineker talk shit, the guest presenters and anyone involved in BBC Sports coverage is no longer allowed to use a common British term describing people fighting or touching each other up, as is usually the way with football players who do not mean to do each other real harm. It's hardly ever a fight, so to call it handbags is an accurate description if you ask me, and the English-speaking world as a whole, I'm sure. But to the BBC, it's a crime against all women everywhere, because I guess women own handbags in the BBC's mind, so this guy is sexist. It is full-grade lunacy that the BBC are well known for at this point, but to actually suspend the guy is going way over the top if you ask me. And the person they have given the boot to is a freelancer, so their suspension could well be the end of his work for them. Hopefully others will still take him on, but in the eyes of the PC mob, he is now the devil and could well be blacklisted. It is a rather incredible situation for the BBC if you ask me, but not surprising in the slightest, and the Mirror have picked up on it here. BBC football pundit suspended for referring to players' scuffle as handbags. BBC pundit Steve Thompson described an incident in the recent clash between Swindon Town and Lincoln City as handbags landing himself in hot water with the broadcasting giants. You mean landing himself in hot water with the woke lunatics at the BBC? Broadcasting giant, I wouldn't call them that. The 65-year-old who works as a freelancer has been laid off for the rest of the year after complaints from listeners about the outdated phrase. What they actually mean is one person phoned up, complained about it, and that was the end of his chances of making money for the rest of the year. Thompson made the comment on BBC Radio Lincolnshire during Lincoln City's 1-0 win at Swindon Town on Tuesday in the Sky Bet League One. So someone actually listening to the football phoned in and complained about this, you sad fucking twat. Explaining their decision, the BBC said the phrase handbags was not in line with their standards. What standards? Oh, you mean the woke agenda? That's not standards, that's just bullshit. The broadcasting giant, they are not a broadcasting giant, said, after listeners raised concerns, Steve acknowledged some of his comments on air didn't meet the standards we expect. He has taken a break, but will be back in the new year. Yeah, we will see if he actually is. You never know, you might have to hire someone because of their colour so you can be oh so woke. We already know you're spending 100 million on that, the BBC, so don't try and give us this bullshit. It goes on, however, several fans are campaigning for his reinstatement, insisting there is nothing malicious behind the intent. There is nothing malicious in what he said, full fucking stop. Last time I checked, handbags is not an offensive word in any way, shape or form. Marcus Greatorex said, it's just an old term, the BBC should pay more attention to songs on their station promoting knife crime and drug use. No, the BBC should not be sitting there trying to censor speech, even if it is shit like that. At the end of the day, free speech should cover absolutely everything, never mind just terms like this that mean absolutely nothing. People should be able to say what they want, and especially when singing songs. If I could sing, there is a few songs I would sing about politicians, the Prime Minister and everyone else, let me tell you. And believe you me, the BBC wouldn't be playing them, I'll guarantee it. Goes on, while Lincoln fan Bernard Mahoney added, as any football fan knows, handbags is an incredibly well-known saying. I can't begin to think who would be offended by it. The BBC has lost touch with the public. Well, that is something we all know too well on this channel here. The term appears in the Collins Dictionary as an incident in which people, especially sportsmen, fight or threaten to fight, but without real intent to inflict harm. Because obviously, they're a bunch of pansy-ass football players. We are not talking about the football players of old here. We are more likely talking about a bunch of soy latte drinking tosspots that wouldn't know their arsehole from their earhole if it slapped them in the face. A bit like the BBC with their suspension here. Now that was the end of the article there, it was just a short one, but fuck me is it incredible that the BBC are doing this. Not surprising, just incredible. You would think with the fact that people can't get into games that they wouldn't be suspending their pundits, which is the only way for fans to get the information from the BBC, though I doubt very many people actually do. This just seems like another backward move by the BBC yet again against the British public, as one of the commenters said in the article itself. Something we know they do all too well and far too often. This is why we want them defunded, and we want them defunded now. Can't trust the government to do it because, as we know, they are piss poor when it comes to doing anything we actually want.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.